Good afternoon, board members. My name is Kyle Maple, and I would like to introduce you to the 2011 Hoosier Homestead Joint Venture Marketing Team.
Michelle Steinbarger,
Kim Hoeing,
Jenna Langley,
Bailey Perry,
Aruj Khan.
Natural, raising environmentally sustainable swine and dairy cattle. Local, 2 small northern Indiana cooperatives. Specialty, 3 blends of cheese and hard salami paired together to complement each product's flavor. Natural, local, and specialty are 3 things you are guaranteed to experience with Hoosier Homestead's cheese and hard salami. Based out of Goshen, Indiana, Hoosier Homestead is composed of 2 small cooperatives, United Natural Dairy and Tri-County Pork Producers. The farmers involved with Hoosier Homestead understand and know the benefits of practicing sustainable agriculture and have agreed to honor our mission and brand loyalty of being a natural product. Due to hard economic times, our joint venture is helping our small family farmers see new potential in the profitability of their livelihoods. By marketing great tasting cheese and hard salami that contain no fillers or artificial flavoring, Hoosier Homestead is connecting the consumer with the local producer. Our cheese and hard salami will have aged and cured for 3 years. The natural aging of the cheese provides probiotic benefits, which offers consumers increased gastrointestinal health, immune function, and bone strength. Hoosier Homestead will be offering 3 types of pairings that will complement each product's flavor. The first of these is the Calabrese, which will be our flavorful herb blend salami paired with our aged provolone cheese. The second of these is the Cato, which will be our savory peppercorn salami paired with our aged cheddar cheese. And lastly will be the Alpino, which will be our tasty original blend salami paired with our aged Gouda cheese. Our salami will be wrapped in 2 4-ounce links, and the cheese will be molded into an 8-ounce wheel. The cheese will be wrapped in brown market paper and encased with 8 ounces of hard salami, all of which will be wrapped in natural twine netting. Each product will contain a Hoosier Farmer story tag. These story tags will include an introduction of a local farmer who helped produce this natural, local, and specialty cheese and hard salami. With many different flavors and fashions in the industry, let's talk to Bailey about our market analysis.
American consumers are spending over $38 billion on specialty food products. Specialty cheeses in particular are one of the 5 most purchased specialty items, with per capita consumption growing faster than total cheese consumption. Dry and semi-dry sausage consumption is also on the rise and is projected to see sales of approximately $2.5 billion in the U.S. alone in 2011. Almost 75% of consumers who purchase specialty foods also purchase naturally produced foods. 28% of specialty foods are produced locally. Recent market research shows that consumers who shop for natural and specialty foods prefer to do so at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's as compared to other large grocery chains. Although both Whole Foods and Trader Joe's draw a wide audience, we deliberately focused in on the 2 target markets that we thought would have the greatest impact in the initial product launch. We selected these markets based on their purchasing patterns of natural and specialty foods, as well as their potential profitability. Our primary research showed that the greatest volume of sales for both grocers came from 2 specific groups: foodies and young urban professionals. These groups also tested significantly higher than all others for being consistently committed to purchasing natural and specialty products. Foodies have been identified as a primary target market for Hoosier Homestead. They are between the ages of 30 to 55 and live in urban areas. 14% of U.S. adults fit the foodie profile. Eating is an experience for them, and they tend to think of their food as more of an art form. Meet Joan, a foodie 50 years of age residing in the Indianapolis metro area. As a foodie, Joan enjoys savoring fresh and flavorful foods and likes to entertain for her friends and family. She also makes an effort to eat foods containing natural probiotics to boost her digestive health. Joan would even consider herself a natural foodie, a special group of foodies whose foremost concern is consuming natural foods. The secondary target market is young urban professionals. These individuals fall between the ages of 25 to 35 and reside in urban areas. There are 4.9 million young urban professionals in the U.S. today. And from our primary research, we've determined that health and convenience are the key concerns of this group. This is Catherine. Catherine lives in the Chicagoland area and is 27 years old. She is very knowledgeable about natural foods and their health benefits, like probiotics, and tries to consume them at least once a week. Catherine often finds herself socializing with coworkers outside of the office and hosting dinner parties. No other product on the market offers the natural, local, and specialty feel that consumers like Joan and Catherine care about, and that Hoosier Homestead delivers. Now Kim will provide us with an analysis of the competition, as well as the strengths and opportunities ahead for Hoosier Homestead.
Hoosier Homestead will compete in the cured meat and specialty cheese markets. Two types of competitors currently exist in the industry, including large national competitors and smaller regional operations. Hoosier Homestead has identified 5 major competitors that fit these two market segments. National competitors include Hickory Farms, Harry and David, and Boar's Head, with regional competitors identified as Fair Oaks Farms of Fair Oaks, Indiana, and Frankenmuth Cheese House of Frankenmuth, Michigan. Each competitor presents a variety of bundled products, though their scope of sales vary greatly. Competitor strengths include the marketing scope of our national competitors, as well as selling products under a previously established brand. Weaknesses of Hoosier Homestead's competition include lacking vertically integrated production practices and an increasing ecological footprint from production to consumer. Foodies and young urban professionals are concerned about the environment and make food purchases based on these beliefs. While Hickory Farms and Boar's Head do include customer-focused initiatives as a part of their action plan, this trend is not consistent among all competitors. Hoosier Homestead's strengths lie in being a naturally and locally produced product. Consumers are becoming increasingly concerned about how and where their food is produced, and Hoosier Homestead offers peace of mind by overseeing all phases of product production to preserve the product's integrity. The joint venture will lack brand awareness initially, but this allows Hoosier Homestead to apply innovative marketing approaches. Hoosier Homestead faces a slow production response, as their product must complete a 3-year aging process to meet quality standards. The U.S. is experiencing an increasing local food movement, and consumers are shifting to a convenience-driven society. Hoosier Homestead is threatened by the established brand awareness of their competitors, as well as the rising cost of production inputs. Market trends are shifting toward locally produced and convenience products, and Hoosier Homestead has a great opportunity to introduce a natural, local, and specialty product to foodies and young urban professionals. Addison will now tell you more about Hoosier Homestead's business proposition to enter the marketplace.
Key planning assumptions are an important part of determining potential within a market. Hoosier Homestead has taken into consideration industry trends, the needs of our consumers, and the current state of our cooperatives. Hoosier Homestead has been in operation for 4 years and will continue production while utilizing the already existing production facilities. In addition, the push for local and sustainable foods will increase. Hoosier Homestead has the advantage of a unique value-added partnership. This joint venture of pork and dairy producers will increase the value of products produced. This joint venture has created several important goals regarding brand awareness and loyalty. Hoosier Homestead will strive to be a local Midwest provider of cheese and salami. Our brand awareness goal will be accomplished by acquiring 60% recognition by the end of our rollout. In addition, Hoosier Homestead intends on receiving at least 99% customer satisfaction. Strategic alliances are crucial for any business or organization. Hoosier Homestead has the cooperation from several businesses in order to increase efficiency. Our fellow businesses will provide the necessary promotional materials, spices, cheese cultures, packaging materials, and shipping for online orders. With this said, our strategy statement is simple yet decisive. Hoosier Homestead will provide a natural, local, and specialty food product that appeals to today's food-conscious consumers. And now Michelle will discuss our action plan.
Hoosier Homestead will ensure effective market penetration by introducing a two-phase product rollout. These phases are structured to handle product demand and promotional activities. The joint venture is targeting urban areas within a 250-mile radius of production in Goshen, Indiana, to reach our local market. These operations will begin in the 2011 fiscal year. In Phase 1, Hoosier Homestead will be entering states with smaller urban markets. Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio provide a great opportunity for Hoosier Homestead to introduce their product. Distribution through Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and the web will give them a clear look at supply projections and brand awareness. In Phase 2, Hoosier Homestead will be breaking into states with larger urban markets within Illinois and Kentucky. With the same distribution methods, Hoosier Homestead will be ready to expand production and promotional activities to increase their market share. Hoosier Homestead will be stocking their product with a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $15.99 per unit. The per unit price is calculated with production costs at $9.27, that is 58% of the total sale price. Hoosier Homestead's margin will be $3.52, where the 22% profit will be distributed among the founding cooperatives. The retailer margin will be $3.20, where to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, where they will gain 20% of the sale price. Hoosier Homestead will use this plant to achieve the following product positioning statement. Hoosier Homestead will bring a farm-fresh product made by local producers to your home to enjoy with family and friends. Christy will now talk about the promotional activities within these two phases.
During Phase 1 of the promotional plan, Hoosier Homestead will initiate a social media blitz. Hoosier Homestead's website will link all the social media outlets and provide an online ordering option. Their blog will allow for customer interaction, recipe posting, and food industry updates. The joint venture will have profiles on Facebook and Twitter, the leaders in social networking. Hoosier Homestead can micro-market using advertisements on Facebook that target specific regions, ages, and interests. YouTube allows the joint venture to tell its story, and food industry endorsements. Included in Phase 1 are food festivals in Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. Sales representatives will offer samples of the natural, local, and specialty cheese and salami. Product will also be available for sale at the food festivals. Hoosier Homestead will work with retailers by offering manufacturer coupons and attractive displays for key shelf space. At Whole Foods monthly wine tastings, they've agreed to promote Hoosier Homestead product by offering free samples. To gain consumer trust, Hoosier Homestead has put together a complete press kit like the ones in front of you. This kit includes press releases, contact information, sales sheets, and more. These kits will be distributed to the press at the food festivals, regional newspapers, and food-oriented magazines. Free product will be delivered with each kit. Hoosier Homestead will support the Midwest Sustainable Agricultural Working Group. This is a group of grassroots organizations addressing issues that align with the foremost concerns of the target market, such as sustainability in agriculture and food systems. The cause will be explained on the back of the Hoosier Farmer Story tag. In Phase 2 of the promotional plan, Hoosier Homestead will add 2 new ventures and expand the food festivals. Food festivals will now reach Illinois and Kentucky, coordinating with Phase 2 of the product rollout. Print media will be added to the promotional package with advertisements in popular foodie magazines, such as Edible Communities, specifically targeting Chicago, Indianapolis, and Columbus, as well as the Michigan Food and Wine magazine.
In order to achieve all these promotional goals, Hoosier Homestead has hired Shelby, a communication specialist. Shelby is responsible for updating the website, posting to the blog, creating YouTube videos, and assisting the sales staff. Hoosier Homestead anticipates all these promotional goals will help maximize sales to reach their goals. Kyle will now discuss the finances that make reaching these goals possible.
Board members, as you can see, Hoosier Homestead has an exciting and tasty new product that will boost profitability for its member farmers. Given Hoosier Homestead's production capacity and projections based on its target market, predicted units sold will be 51,000 units in year 1, 168,000 units in year 2, and 260,000 units by year 3. Out of a suggested retail price of $15.99, Hoosier Homestead will receive $12.79, causing net sales to increase from $649,000 in year 1 to over $3.3 million by year 3. Production expenses will include all pork and dairy input costs, processing costs, packaging, and shipping. Hoosier Homestead has 2 types of packaging, retail and shipping. Retail packages cost 20 cents per package, while packages being shipped cost $3.20. Estimated retail sales are at 80%, with the remainder of sales being sold via the website. Through print media, social media, food festivals, and more, Hoosier Homestead's total marketing expenses will be $76,000 in year 1 and grow to $150,000 by year 3. Operational expenses will include all salary, wages, and benefits of employees, utility costs, quality control, and monitoring and measurement. With these expenses, Hoosier Homestead's earnings before interest and taxes will be as follows: negative $339,000 in year 1, $147,000 in year 2, and growing to $568,000 by year 3. As you can see, year 1's loss will be recovered by the following 2 years of growth. Now I will hand it off to Aruj, who will explain how Hoosier Homestead plans to monitor and measure the success of their products.
The joint venture will have 5 different areas of evaluation. Those areas include sales, profits, customer satisfaction, market penetration, and social responsibility and ethics. To monitor sales, Hoosier Homestead will utilize surveys found within the product packaging and Google Analytics. A contingency plan will also be in place to incorporate the changes in demand. An increasing demand will lead the joint venture to put more emphasis on the demanding regions before pursuing the entire rollout. The joint venture will then also be able to gain the target consumer profile, or broaden the target consumer profile. A decreasing demand will lead the joint venture to reevaluate the current marketing plan. The next area of concentration would be profits. Hoosier Homestead will examine financial reports and evaluate key financial ratios to measure profitability. A contingency plan will also be in place to assess the current price position and production processes to meet expected goals. To monitor customer satisfaction, Hoosier Homestead will examine surveys and Google Analytics. A contingency plan will require the joint venture to address any problems or concerns customers may have with the product. Focusing on making these adjustments would increase or maintain current satisfaction with the product. Hoosier Homestead will examine sales and brand awareness to measure market penetration. To increase our market penetration, the joint venture will adjust advertising strategies. Social responsibility and ethics must be assessed because the foundation of our joint venture is based upon the integrity of its producers and the final product. To be both socially responsible and ethical, a revision of all surveys would be necessary in order to underline any problems or concerns customers may have with operations. With focus on these 5 areas, Hoosier Homestead will be able to guarantee that all their expected goals will be met.
Board members, Hoosier Homestead will increase the profitability of our cooperative members by bringing a farm-fresh product made by a local producer to your home to enjoy with family and friends. We will now entertain any questions you might have.
shelf space. Somebody talked about it at some point in the presentation, but how are we going to ensure shelf space, and what's our strategy to make sure we absolutely get the best shelf space and it's not cheap? And do we have something accounted for in our financials somewhere in terms of getting that accomplished?
We have, actually, Whole Foods and Trader Joe's do not have a shelf space cost. So we don't have that in our financials because it's a zero cost. And as far as acquiring shelf space, it's in our contract that we've worked out. They sell some of the previous products that we have with the United Natural Dairy and Tri-County Pork Producers.
Who are the greatest sort of influencers for the foodies? Who do they listen to in terms of product recommendations and when they're making their purchasing decisions?
Foodies very much rely on using the internet, various social media type structures to find out more information. So they very much are kind of an intertwined group. They rely on one another. You have those early adopters, and as soon as they catch on to something, they're very good about getting that on the web and that surfacing among those type of blogs and social media, etc. type things.
Yeah, so your brand image that you're trying to create is natural and local. And your product name is Hoosier, and I live in Michigan. So I want to understand, have you done research to say that I'm okay if I live in Michigan and I buy, and you're promoting natural and local, and I'm buying something that says Hoosier?
Yes, well, that is an excellent question and something that we, of course, focused in on. With our two joint ventures of the cooperatives with United Natural Dairy and Tri-County Pork Producers, we actually cover 40 different pork farms along with 27 dairies. And those aren't just based out of Indiana. They're based from the 5 states that we really focus in on. So when we say local, we're going to focus in on those Michigan producers and consumers when you actually eat your product.
So how will I know that, though, that it is coming from a local? Let's say I live in Lansing. How will I know it's coming from a local hog farm in Lansing?
So that is actually a part of the Hoosier Farmer Story Tags. We will actually have 6 different farmers from your area featured on those tags. Those introductions will include history of the farm, the farmers' names, and how they actually practice their sustainable farming.
Okay. My last question, then I'll pass it off to somebody else. You said that you were going to pay the retailer $3.50. Is that competitive to what they would make on other products? Or is it more than they would make on stocking somebody else's sausage and cheese?
Yes, well, after talking to some executives of the owners of Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, a 20% profit margin is an average profit margin that they will receive.
Okay.
At the beginning, you had quite a few stats about national food trends and talked about different types of consumers. But you also said that this is a local focus, and it's truly a regional market that we're looking at. So what sort of research do we have to verify that our regional customer base follows national trends?
Well, if we could look at the population slide, Josh. We did do lots of research within our area, and since we are staying within those 5 states, we really wanted to see how many foodies are and young and urban professionals are within our area and who we're targeting. So we first wanted to start out in those first 3 states because we wanted to get that primary research and understand what they needed and what they want before we rolled out into larger urban markets. And these are the different populations within our target market for each state. So we really hope that we'd be able to capture a lot of our market with these population numbers. Yes.
And I'll just explain a little bit about what that primary research was that we conducted. We visited Indianapolis since it's part of our initial rollout. There are 2 Whole Foods and 2 Trader Joe's stores located there, and we surveyed 50 customers at each store with the permission of Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, and they completed a 3-page survey with questions ranging from where they get their news, what trends do they follow, are they users of social media, what drives their buying decisions when they make purchases at those stores. So they completed a variety of surveys that we conducted at those Indianapolis stores, and since that's a part of our region, we thought that was a great way to gain some insight and some primary research about what our customers truly wanted in this area.
Yeah, darn, that took care of that question. All right. I noticed that you're doing a lot of food festivals and things like that. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good idea to do that. I noticed in the budget, though, that the cost for the food festivals were, I think, the first year about $18,000 or something. Second year, $40,000. So it really goes up, then it drops back down again. So I guess my question is why? And are we attending the same food festivals every year? We're just expanding it, and if we are, then those costs should continue to creep up.
For the first year, we have food festivals only in Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, which is why it's lower than the second year. The second year, we enter more festivals in Chicago area and then also in Kentucky. So we have a jump there with the increase in sales hours, the increase in taste testing that we're giving out, and promotional media. Now the next year, it falls back down because we've already started to hit our brand awareness goals, so we may not have as much taste testing, sampling going on. We may become more choosy at which festivals we see the greatest response from, and if we're in an area that's not successfully reaching the goal we want to hit, we'll pull back, reevaluate, and then decide the next year if it's worth going into it again or find another food festival.
I appreciated your putting a face to who your target audiences are. I think that was a nice touch. But one of the things stood out specifically when you were talking about the young urban professional, and you said that she is interested in natural, local, and healthy, and you're selling a fat product. Can you help me to understand why they want to buy it?
That's a great question. The cheese and the salami both are rather high in fat content. We have to remember that these are natural products. So our salami has no artificial flavors and no fillers. And that's not something that very many of our competitors can actually say in the cured meats area. As far as the cheese goes, it has the benefit of being aged and thus having the probiotics. So it boosts and regulates digestive health. That's also something that not many of the other cheese competitors are going to have. So we have that little bit of edge there. The consumption of both cheese and salami have been increasing, especially within our target markets. And these aren't something they're going to be eating on a daily basis. This is really something that they're going to have, again, for those occasions, the dinner parties and such, while they'll bring out the Hoosier Homestead products.
Can you tell me a little bit? You said that the consumption of those products are increasing. I'd be interested to know a little bit more about the research on that.
Exactly. What we found from industry trends is that the consumption of salami is increasing 5% annually, whereas cheese is about 4% annually.
And is it the artisan,
Yes,
high-end cheeses
yes.
that you guys are
We
selling?
particularly put interest into the specialty cheese market, and that's where you're finding that 4%.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fair.
You have $3,000 budgeted for print media, yet you've got a pretty extensive list of publications you want to be in, and that's for a year. I'm not sure that's going to go very far. What sort of frequency or schedule do you have associated with $3,000?
Right. Our print media is very specific to just edible communities, which are in Chicago, Indianapolis, and Columbus, and then the Michigan Food and Wine magazine. So we have 4 magazines. They're very local. They're not regional. They're to one city. So when we looked, we can get a quarter of a page color advertisement for $700. They are quarterly magazines. They come out 4 times a year. So we can run the advertisements through those various magazines for $3,000.
Well, I'm going to add to that. The $3,000 in year one, that's just to cover like newspaper advertisements in year one. We did not enter the magazine market until year 2 and year 3. That's why $3,000 doesn't seem like a lot in the first year of the print media, but in the next 2 years, that's when we really hit those magazine markets.
So how did you determine your price relative to your competitive products that you have to price or sell against?
With the slide I had before, maybe it didn't explain everything, but we do have a production cost of $9.27, and then we first give that 20% margin to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, because that's the price that they would really enjoy to have. And then we take the extra profit for Hoosier Homestead, which rounds up to be $3.52.
Yeah, so that,
Another one.
Well, thank you. If we have any more questions, I can answer them later. Thank you.
That would not be fair.
Yeah, not be fair. That would not be fair. Okay, thank you. Very good.